Yeah, good to go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hello. It's just getting up to 11 o'clock, so we'll get started. It feels so full today. It's terrific. It's just so nice to see so many people in the room. My name is Sarah Turner. I'm the president at North Bennett Street School. I'm so glad always when I get to be with you in person, because that feels a little bit more special these days than it ever did before. So nice to see you. We are here to celebrate our graduates. As you know, I'm looking at so many of you. Our graduates from our Carpentry program, from both of our piano programs, 2 piano programs, piano technology and advanced piano, and also our graduates in our Preservation Carpentry program, who will essentially receive their diplomas in spirit today rather than in person, because they are on site in Washington, D.C., and I've gotten word that they have a laptop set up in D.C. at the mall so they can watch along with us. So hello to our Preservation Carpentry graduates and faculty. Thanks to all of these technologies that we've come to know better this year than I think we ever imagined we would, we're able to reach out through the ether to our graduates, to our families and friends, to our loved ones, so that they can share in the recognition of all of your accomplishments and all of your good work. And I just want to recognize the beautifully sort of low-tech, high-tech situation that we have going on here today. For those of you viewing outside, our IT team has set up monitors so people can view easily. That's the high-tech part, and our preservation carpenters tuning in from Washington, D.C. And that allows folks to stream in from wherever they may be. Meanwhile, our carpenters had the presence of mind to be practical and low-tech, and they have built stairs up to the large windows that flank the sides of the Old North Church. And it is so great and so human to see these faces looking in the windows. So thank you, carpenters, for doing that. It's just an ingenious solution, and it's so welcome. So hello to family and friends, whether you are way out there or whether you are here. Thank you for all of the support that you gave to your students, our students, throughout this whole year. I want to also just take a moment to situate ourselves in this place where today's intersection of simple and advanced, old and new, digital and analog all comes together. We're here where North Bennett Street School has celebrated graduations for many, many years in this historic place, the Old North Church. This is a place that's been standing for community since 1723, almost 200 years ago. So imagine all of the ways that this space has changed, adapted, and endured over that period of time. I can't imagine a better spot to reflect on this past year than this place today. We're here to celebrate you, graduates, of course, but we're also here to thank you and maybe put just a little more on your shoulders, because it is so inspiring to know that through your hands-on work, your in-person efforts, that up-close and skilled training is moving into the world anew with all of you. Through you, our communities are being given optimism that ability brings, because you have the ability to repair things, to preserve things, to make things finer and more tuned, to build and propose solutions. And so to me, ability really is optimism. I use that word, but I could also use courage or care, because you brought all of these things with you as you came to school each and every day through a global pandemic, keeping your focus, keeping your minds and your hands trained on your future. And that wasn't an easy thing to do. I want to recognize that. For our preservation carpenters and our advanced piano graduates, you started with us in simpler times, before we reoriented our daily lives and before we struggled to find certainty and clarity. Thank you for your commitment, for your trust in us, for making the day-to-day effort to keep working and to keep making progress. As we navigated through these uncertain and scary times together, you really gave us the focus that we all needed to just keep problem solving, keep adapting, and keep moving ahead, just as you were doing every day. And for our carpenters and our piano technology graduates, you were a marvel to me. I remember meeting you on the sidewalk in early November for your first day of school. You showed up in the middle of such a strange time to give yourself a new chapter and a new set of skills. Some of you made cross-country moves to do this. Some of you changed lives to do this at such a crazy, crazy time. I can't tell you how inspiring what that was to me and to all of us to see people who either took new opportunity or who stayed the course and took this chance for change and growth. It was truly amazing. And you hear me using we and us, and it's a chance for me to recognize all the people it took for us to be here together, because you really have a very, very full community around you. Supporting you from the wings is our board of directors and advisors who help to guide North Bennett Street School always, but with particular attention this school year, as you might imagine. So thank you to the board for your faith in our decisions and for having the wisdom to protect what is really most important about this place, the people who work here, be that our students, our staff, or our faculty. Thank you to the board and advisors for our healthy building, our well-ventilated shops, our spacious program areas. It has been such a safe harbor in such a strange time. I want to also thank the staff, many of whom are here today, who work every day to bring some sort of constant in that change, who supported students and faculty in all the ways that they do, even while juggling children at home, on Zoom, going to school, or working lives that were suddenly completely rearranged. And finally, to our faculty, where we would be without our faculty, to our instructors, thank you. Thank you for all of the ways that you brought vision and expertise and your work ethic to your students. Through you, we were able to give this new group of graduates the skills and abilities and confidence to take their programs, their fields, and their little piece of North Bennett Street School out and forward into all of our communities. Thank you, faculty, for your care and your leadership. So that's the team that's supporting you and making your work possible, graduates, but you are really the ones that took this leap, the ones who made the daily effort to slowly but surely learn these skills and give yourself new understanding and new opportunity. And as I shared with your colleagues when they graduated last month, you really have been an inspiration to us, and you've been so much of what has propelled our work forward. So thank you. I remember being thankful then and not recognizing it exactly in the moment, but to have your progress as our focus, it was a way to push forward all the way to today, a day that seemed at such a distance when you started and when you arrived. So congratulations on your hard work, on your commitment to your projects and your programs, to yourselves and to your futures. We really can't wait to get to know you now as alumni and see through you all of the proof of what North Bennett Street School can be in the world. So thank you and congratulations. Round of applause for our graduates. We're going to do a lot of clapping today. It's a big space and sometimes it feels lonely when you're walking down the aisle to get your diploma, so be prepared to do a lot of clapping. It will help your colleagues. And now I'd like to introduce Mark Margulies. Mark is the chair of our board of directors. Mark has really been at our side all year with the executive committee and the rest of the board, giving us guidance and expertise to all of the decisions that we had to make to get us to today. Mark is active in all areas of the board's work and a big part of our success because Mark and the board helped to lay all of the things that have made weathering this year possible. I talked about a healthy building. I talked about beautiful spaces. We have so much to be grateful for in the work of our volunteers. Mark always keeps the mission and the vision of this school healthy and forward focused. And I know that he is just as eager to pick up a chisel to turn at his lathe as he is to encourage our online efforts. So he's really someone that has a true analog to digital range. I am so glad to have had Mark and the full board as our thinking partners and our close supporters all this year. So welcome, Mark.
Right. The world is in awe of all of you who have worked so hard during your time at NBSS to develop your expertise, and so frankly am I. You not only create and restore wonderful objects, but you do so with a patience and precision and a sense of purpose that is rare these days and truly admirable. One of the things that I love most about North Bennett Street School is that it encourages its students, all of you graduates here today, to go into the world holding high the torch for a tradition of beautiful, useful, and meaningful handmade creations. What serves the human condition with more purpose than shelter, history, beauty, or music? While each of you graduates now has the skill and experience to move forward with your chosen craft, I have no doubt that you also understand the additional purpose that has been conferred upon you as you receive your diploma. You now share the responsibility to help preserve a broad but endangered appreciation for the magical wonder of objects that are created by those who work with their hands. Clearly, our society loves television and cell phones and cool new apps, fast computers, mass-produced packaged food, unfortunately. That's life in the 21st century, no doubt. But those things should also serve to remind us of how important and hard it is for people not to lose perspective of the intrinsic value of individual objects, painstakingly fashioned with affection for the material, the tools, the art, the process. If we as a society lose these skills, which you are helping the world to keep, we will simply be the poorer for it, and we will not be able to regain those skills once they are lost. So I ask, does it matter if those skills disappear? And the answer is, my answer anyway, is yes, it does. Losing the intimate relationship between humans and nature in favor of software or immediate mechanical gratification separates us from an appreciation for the planet that we live on. Losing those skills means that children will learn in fewer ways to discover their own talents, skills, and passions. Losing those skills means that our homes, our art, our music will be less diverse, more homogeneous, or less personal. We must, all of us, do all we can to be advocates, wherever we can, for the marvelous craftsmanship that all of you graduates have witnessed blossoming in yourselves and your colleagues at NBSS. So, on behalf of all the members of the board of directors who would have loved to have been here today too, of course, we congratulate you on your accomplishments and wish you great success in your chosen careers as craftspeople and as spokespeople for the purpose of craftsmanship. I would now like to recognize the recipient of the 2021 Distinguished Alumni Award. This award is given annually based on an alumnus's professional accomplishments, their contributions to the craft, and their work with schools and organizations to promote excellence in craft. And this year I have the privilege to announce that the award goes to Philip Lowe, a 1974 graduate of the Cabinet and Furniture Making Program. Though Phil passed away earlier this year, our community wanted to honor his many years of teaching and mentorship with this year's award, which seems truly fitting. Phil was a master furniture maker, entrepreneur, teacher, mentor, and dear friend to all. Phil was a cabinet and furniture making instructor at NBSS from 1975 to 1985, with the latter 5 of those years as department head. During this time, thank you for that, cleaning the streets apparently. During this time, Phil helped build the program's core curriculum and supported its transition to be fully accredited. Soon after leaving his role at NBSS in 1989, he launched and led the Furniture Institute of Massachusetts, which trained hundreds of students from across the country in the art of classical woodworking techniques. According to Dan Faya, cabinet and furniture making graduate of 1994, the program's current department head, Phil truly is the definition of a mentor. He taught us through his actions to take pride in craftsmanship, to share our knowledge with everyone who will listen, and to inspire the next generation of cabinet makers to carry on the traditions of the craft with honor. In addition to numerous accolades and achievements from shows, institutions, and private industry, Phil won the Cartouche Award in 2005 from the Society of American Period Furniture Makers and was chosen in 2010 for the Artisanship Award bestowed by the Institute of Classical Architecture and Classical America. These awards reflect his generous contributions to the field and its community, while also cementing his legacy as a master furniture maker and artisan. Phil's impact includes not only the fine work he produced over 50+ years, but also the generations of woodworkers who he guided in the craft. We are extremely proud to claim him as a North Bennett Street School alumnus and are happy to honor Philip Lowe with the 2021 Distinguished Alumni Award. We will be sharing this award with Phil's family at a later time. Congratulations to Phil.
It's a tricky little combination of steps we have back there, so you'll see us sort of dancing up and down them as we go. Thank you so much, Mark. It was so good to have you here with us and to get to hear your thoughts from a maker and a leader, both. And next, I'd like to introduce you to our graduation speaker. And it feels so special to introduce Allison Ian Tosca to you, certainly for who she is as a person, but also because it just feels so good to get to have a graduation speaker again. It feels like a small step back to normal, and that feels great. So when I was thinking about who we would invite to speak this year, I knew we needed someone who had a view about what we do at North Bennett Street School, not only through the lens of her work, running a custom home building business, but also as a team leader, someone who, like us, had to weather the changes of the world, and as a business owner and a community member, someone who must balance legacy with growth and change. Allison is the owner and president of F.H. Perry Builder, and as such, she carries on work that her father started, moving forward a tradition of success through their commitment to strength of character, knowledge, integrity, the simple act of building well, and the importance of relationships. When I spoke with Allison about her work, I heard someone keenly attuned to the realities of assembling the right people to do excellent work. And I also heard someone who took such delight in building spaces that people get to live in, that people get to use, where their lives play out and evolve. It was this view, both the practical and the sensitively thoughtful, that seemed like just the right view for us today. I also thought about who shows us what it is to be a community member. After all, I think this year has shown us more than ever how reliant we are on each other. We're all, of course, fully rounded people, even as we become specialized in our trades. And Allison lives this out through her volunteer work for a wide range of nonprofits, and in this has been recognized by the Boston Future Leaders, Bankers and Tradesmen, the Builders and Remodelers Association of Greater Boston, and many, many others. Of particular note, under her leadership, F.H. Perry Builder was named one of the Commonwealth Institute's top 100 women-owned businesses for 3 years. And of course, like so many of you, she understands how her work and the work of F.H. Perry connects to so many other trades and skills and abilities and talents, and how the best work is really done when we bring all of those strengths together. So Allison, welcome. We are so glad you could be here with us today. Please help me join in welcoming Allison. You can keep talking. That sounds nice. Thank you. Good morning. It means a lot to me to be here. Scratch that. I think it means a lot to you to be here, but I'm enjoying this shared space, this shared moment with you immensely. And I've been thinking about you a lot lately, ever since speaking with Sarah 6 or so weeks ago about the morning of July 30th. You have been with me. I would find you suddenly next to me in the middle of a field in Vermont, wondering what I could add to the work that Sarah told me about. The 1920s garage rebuild in Quincy, the pool house screen porch in Haverhill, the timber framing at Brookwood Farm. I found you there with me on a quiet back road in Concord on a late afternoon return from a job site, when I wondered how to help you hold on to what you gained in the work that you did at Tilden House in Canton, Memorial Hall in Charlestown, Line Week in Nantucket, the Notre Dame Trust Project in Washington, D.C. And there you were at the end of my driveway. It had just poured down rain, and I finally got the dog out for a walk. And I found myself wanting to somehow, with my words, gift you the precious memories of learning to tune, regulate, and repair the actions of upright pianos, or to work in teams to dismantle, rebuild, and repair grand pianos. And yet time has passed, as it does, and we've all arrived here together this morning to honor what you just accomplished by conquering curriculum these past months, cherishing the very moment of celebration in the present, and knowing that this is the commencement to the next part of your future. How do we cover that continuum all at once? The very trial of our lifetimes, living in a world that is changing with innovative rapidity, while we seek through our studied work to slow that down. I stumbled across a quote the other day. Change is the law of life. And those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. For me, as a small construction company business owner, change is a pretty regular part of life, and in many instances, I do love it. I mean, don't ask me to change my hairstyle. That perm I got in 7th grade practically did me in, or the wall color, as we just repainted the wall in our dining room the same color. And I live across the street from the 250-year-old home that I grew up in. Some things are best left alone. But I suppose I will take free rein on change that enriches people's lives through quality craft and care every minute of every day. But this got me to thinking, I suppose change is something that can happen to you, or is something that you can make happen, which seemed quite relevant to what we're doing here together today. So change that's happening to me,
Jeff Bezos just flew to space for 10 minutes. Bitcoin renders an actual coin a perfunctory nuisance. Lawyers are gobbling up opportunities to take a grab at the promised jackpot in regulating artificial intelligence. Though these things are wildly, almost miraculous to a girl from rural New England, they each stretch beyond my level of comfort. And I literally don't get any of them, which is maybe stubborn defiance around what worked before felt less complicated. An airplane barreling out of Logan Airport to the West Coast is still enough excitement for me. But perhaps this is why I live in the construction world. What we do as craftspeople is operate with such a beautiful sense of tradition. We are stewards of legacy and integrity, and it's not that we don't evolve or set aside an inventive mindset, but rather the change for us is finding agency and application in our ability to literally recreate and redefine what once was, to restore, to recycle, to reinforce. And in fact, we are relied upon for this. We are unique. We do slow down the meaning of change in a society that regularly accepts temporary or throwaway or fantastic, to ask if it is, in fact, better. In some ways, to me, this is a promise that we make to each other, isn't it? Doing the right thing along the way and building trust. Not a prepackaged trust, but the kind that is the result of honoring, respecting, and believing in pace, building well, and the skill and talent of another human's hands. We measure it by studying in extraordinary detail, deferring to the richness of a skilled opinion, the number of times laughter bounces off the walls, the sound of a skill saw slicing a 2x4, a piano key perfectly thrumming its string. We mustn't then ever succumb, because we are critical to the balance of human capability. We set a course for the totality of human talent when, in a single person, we make use of brain and body, hands and heart. This is the change that we can affect. And yet here we are at a life moment that is betwixt and between our choice for change, a decision to be made about how to pull into the future from here. Graduation. A manic sense of gearing up. This odd sense of finishing and starting all at the same time. One's body can get confused, resisting the sudden burst of activity and renewed focus on career, networking, next steps, new paths, recreating identity. All that we otherwise put on hold for the previous months of slowing down for a deep dive into learning, honing, and building of skill. The move towards closure and celebration may lull you into a languishing, like the desire for a few more safe minutes under the soft bed covers on a crisp fall morning. These are the kinds of change I always forget, even in the midst of more interactions and more things to do, more change about connection and meaning making. And I wonder if this is true for you. July 30th, 2021. The north end of Boston, Massachusetts. The late morning transition of the neighborhood, having seen off its financial district workforce hours ago, and now slowly waking the restaurant staff that will carry the festivity late into the evening. Lunch preparations tempt the senses as today's spices and secret sauces commingle with those left over from last night and the night before and the night before that. In either case, there is a constancy to the thrum of traffic between here and Quincy Market, the sound of a security gate being thrown open as a shopkeeper opens for business, the alley-like streets that protect this part of the city from overdevelopment. A strain of friends and relatives, faculty and staff, board members, fellow graduates began down the sidewalk about an hour ago, moving into the growing gathering of people, and this party had suddenly begun. It's enthralling, this moment, this in-between, the past and the future. A space in the abstract of time that quote might not have thought about. Dress up clothes to honor yourself in ceremony, shoe tips tripping on cobblestone cracks, wafts of perfume mixed with the musty scent of history. It is the safest place to be, and time stops for a moment. Because everywhere you turn is someone you have loved or has loved you. Someone, in your words, who gave you a craft or a trade, making it possible to be fearless. A person who got you here to see that traditional trades and meaningful work will forever matter to the world. Like-minded people who study the totality of the process of creating, the before and the after, the meaning-making. This is a time of connection. This is a time of being together as wholly as possible, with all of your might, because it may never, ever happen again. In fact, this pervasive unspoken thought may be a unifying factor that allows each of us to be here and to love fully and decidedly just for this moment, before we will be asked to leave this church, to go outside there and make something of our future. But as that's happening, may the spirit of this event stay with you. May you take in a big gulp of joy to remind you of what you are actually a part of in becoming a graduate of this extraordinarily magical school. You create places and spaces of meaning to share and that offer some personal solace and truth. You create structures and tune instruments that will somehow allow more connection to the world, not less. You capture time literally in your hands as you shape and mold, tune, regulate, and repair. You hold modernization and technology, speed and urgency safely at bay, and allow some magic to creep in. You are part of something to which you so fully belong and we so fully need. I love what is evidenced in the power of this human gathering, where fear, judgment, time pressures, world worries are asked to wait in the car. We know they're there for us, panting in the front seat, wondering when we're going to get back to them. And we know that change is the law of life. But you are now more grounded than ever to face that gnarly, fast-paced future because of your talent and precision, trade, and skill. And as you continue into that future, as you look towards building spaces, skillfully holding music in your hands, and creating for your clients long-lasting bolts of joy, I encourage all of you to pause and look back at the glow of this moment, knowing that your past and this present are actually the only things that will matter to holding on to the humanness and integrity of the future. All my love to all of you. Thank you.
Allison, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us a chance to think about the past and the present, but just to stop and even think about the neighborhood. It just is wonderful to like ground us in the real world, even when we do something as meaningful as this. Thank you. And now to the business of the day, the recognition of each and every one of our graduates. I'd like to introduce Claire Fruitman. Claire is a graduate of our cabinet and furniture making program, and she is also our provost, leading our full-time programs and our faculty. Claire has been an absolute, steadfast, and clear-headed leader over this last strange year. She's been thoughtful and sensitive to what will make teaching and learning safe and strong, listening carefully and collaboratively with faculty and staff. We have been so grateful to have her talents and her clarity with us this year of all years. So Claire, welcome. Thank you very much, Sarah. And thank you, Allison, for your inspiring and heartfelt words. So as it says in today's printed program, finishing the requirements for graduation at North Bennett Street School takes hard work, commitment, and dedication at the best of times. The students in this graduating class completed their programs during the global pandemic of COVID-19. I don't have to tell you what that was like. We're here today to celebrate the extraordinary achievements of the class of 2021. I'll ask the instructors of the program to come forward first and stand near the diplomas with Sarah and Mark and Allison if you'd like to join her. Graduates, when I call your name, please make your way to the center aisle and come up to get your diploma from your instructor. There is a camera here where you can wave to anyone who's watching from elsewhere. And the photographer will take some photos of you while you're up here. And then once you've had your photo taken, you can make your way back to your seat. When we're all done with everything, we're going to ask everyone to join us on the side patio where family and friends are waiting. And also, please take note of the special diploma covers. They were made by Jeff Altepeter, our bookbinding department head. I'd like to welcome the carpentry instructors, Peter Smith and Brock Leindecker. Graduating today from carpentry, Amanda Assetti. Brian Albert. Galen Bermudez.
Geneva. Nicholas Fernandez. Israel Farrer. Xiomara Garcia. Jeffrey Hamley. Cecilia Marquez. Ali Muhammad. Cedric Hawley. Matthew Skosha. David St. Hilaire. Joey Tricasio. Marcus Wright. Richard Yu. So our preservation carpenters are next, although as Sarah said, they're in Washington, so none of them are here today. They're working on a design build project in Washington, D.C., building roof truss number 6 for the Notre Dame Cathedral. I hope they're watching and celebrating as I call their names. The preservation carpentry instructors are Stephen O'Shaughnessy and Michael Burry. Graduating today from preservation carpentry, Kevin Damon Cronmiller. Mark Davidson. Matthew Doherty. Thomas Eldridge. Sophie Linnell. Henry Newhart. Philip Moyer. Charlotte Wampold. Hi, Preservation, I hope you heard your name. So unfortunately, our piano technology department head, Debbie Sear, couldn't be here today, and she really regrets that. But I would like to welcome the other instructors up here for piano technology, Louis Delbeni, Emily Townsend, and teaching assistant Will Roper. Graduating today from basic piano technology, Scott Hankins. Elisa Katamura. Corey Malone. Lindsay Robeson. Sarah Rundle. Susan, sit. Emma Wolfhard. Madeline Woodrum. Graduating today from Advanced Piano Technology, Jennifer Chen. Tiffany Dolben. Claire Heath. Jonathan Lowe. Samantha Kruger. Thomas Porter. Before we leave, I have a few parting words. The first time I attended a North Bennett Street School graduation was when I was a new cabinet and furniture making student. Walter McDonald, my predecessor, was standing here announcing everybody's names. And when he finished, he had some words of wisdom and encouragement that I found so inspiring. I've been back to every graduation since then, and it started a long time ago. Long before I worked here, when I didn't know anybody who was graduating, I still thought of those words as sort of my annual pep talk. So I thought I would share those words with you today, and I hope that you'll find them as inspiring as I still do. We may be almost finished here, but it's far from over. There's a lot more to do. There will be mistakes from which you will learn. There will be customers you hope never to see again. New methods, equipment, and materials will change the way you work. You will get better and faster. If you don't get it right, you have a chance to do it better the next time. There will be wonderful customers for whom you will do work over your entire career, and they will recommend you to their friends, and they will become your friends because of your work. There will be a time when you finish a job, look at it, and realize that a short time ago you could not have done it. And you would not have even known where to start. And you will realize just how far you've come. So in closing, may your tools stay sharp. May your work be scheduled a year in advance. May your customers always be satisfied, pay in a timely manner and without argument. You have skills and knowledge that few people share. You can use these skills to make life better for others, and you can be justifiably proud of jobs well done. So now we're finished. It's time for you to go out there and do great work. Congratulations. Feel free to join your family and friends on the side patio. You can go out the front or the back.
Yeah.